In this part of the project, we're going to model the floor system in ETABS. Since this building uses a two-way waffle slab system, we first need to define the slab properties correctly inside the software. To define slab sections in ETABS, go to Define Gives Section Properties Gives Slab Sections. This is the location where all concrete slab systems are introduced into the model. When this window opens, ETABS gives us two main slab modeling options: PLANK and SLAB. The PLANK option is typically used for one-way slab systems. The SLAB option is used for two-way slab systems, including two-way waffle slabs. Since this project uses a two-way waffle slab, we will use the SLAB option. I will define two different slab systems. First, a conventional 20 cm solid concrete slab. Second, the waffle slab system. The solid slab will only be used around the elevator core area, while the remaining floor areas will use the waffle slab system. Now let's define the 20 cm solid slab. I'll rename this section as SLAB20. The concrete material is assigned as C30. Next, ETABS asks for the modeling type. We usually have three important modeling choices here: shell thin, shell thick, and membrane. Shell elements transfer both in plane and out-of-plane behavior to connected beams and columns. Membrane elements transfer only in plane forces and ignore out-of-plane bending stiffness. Because of this, membrane elements are not suitable for balconies or areas where slab bending behavior is important. For most practical building projects, using shell-thin elements is recommended. However, to avoid unrealistic in-plane stiffness contribution during earthquake analysis, we usually reduce membrane stiffness modifiers. Here, I'll assign the slab thickness as 20 centimeters. Make sure your ETABS units are set to centimeters before entering the values. Now let's define the waffle slab system. I'll create a copy of the previous slab section and rename it as WAFFLE. According to ACI 318 requirements for two-way joist systems, the minimum rib width must not be less than 10 centimeters. The rib depth should not exceed 3.5 times the rib width, and the clear spacing between ribs should not exceed 75 centimeters. In this project, we are using 60 by 60 centimeter waffle molds. Larger molds reduce reinforcement consumption, but increase concrete volume. Smaller molds reduce concrete usage, but require more reinforcement. In many real projects, larger waffle molds are economically beneficial because concrete is usually cheaper than reinforcement steel. ACI 318 also specifies that when removable non-structural fillers are used, the topping slab thickness must be at least the larger of 1/12 of the clear spacing between ribs, or 50 millimeters. For a 60 centimeter mold, the clear spacing between ribs is approximately 50 centimeters. So 50 divided by 12 gives about 4 centimeters. Since the code requires the larger value, we will use a 5 centimeter topping slab thickness. Now let's enter the waffle slab geometry into ETABS. The total slab depth is 23 centimeters. The concrete topping thickness is 5 centimeters. Top rib width is 15 centimeters. Bottom rib width is 10 centimeters. And rib spacing in both X and Y directions is 60 centimeters. After defining the slab properties, we can start modeling the floor areas for regular bays. We can use the quick rectangular floor drawing tool. For irregular slab geometries, such as triangular or trapezoidal areas, we should use the irregular floor drawing command. Around the elevator core, we will model solid slabs instead of waffle slabs. To create reference boundaries, I'll use non-beam sections. These elements are useful for modeling and load assignment, but they are ignored in structural design calculations. Finally, after copying the slabs to all stories and modeling the balconies, The floor system is completed. In the next part, we will continue with beam and column sizing, structural analysis, and slab design in SAFE.